This is Cirque du Sea. I'm Andrew Hughes. We're on a journey from the source to the sea of the River Derwent. It's a learning adventure, but it's a real adventure. I'm here with the high school students from Taroona High. We're on the first day of the Cirque du Sea expedition. They're coming with me, Dr. Alistair Richardson, teacher Kate McWhirter. We're heading up into the Highlands for the first week of what is a 4-week long expedition. We've got thousands of primary school kids tuning in to learn about rivers. These guys are going to be looking at the upper catchment or the source area. It's going to be cold, it's possibly going to be snowing. Everyone's got their bags packed and we're keen to get on the road.
I'm Alistair Richardson. I'm the academic director of the Bookend Trust, and occasionally I get to go on adventures. And what we've been doing, from my point of view at any rate, is two things. The simplest, although it didn't quite turn out that way, was to collect some mountain shrimps, an interesting animal, for a colleague of mine in Germany. And the other one was to try and establish some of the distributional limits of one of our burrowing crayfish species.
Seeing what's alive up here in the upper catchment of the Traveller's Rest River.
It's an animal that's only found in Tasmania, and as I've been telling people, zoologists at least beat a path to Tasmania to see it. So it's a special animal.
I'm just tying pink tape so we know where the track is for when we're coming back up.
Day 2 was the hardest just because the packs were really heavy and the ground was really wet and there was a lot of snow, and it meant walking conditions were quite hard. And then also once we got into the campsite I was expecting it to be quite dry, but it was like everything was squelching and I was already sodden, and the first day was really hard for me.
Today we've brought along a portable water testing kit that our samplers use when they're out in the field. They can test on the spot for pH and turbidity levels, as well as chlorine in tap water. So they test the chlorine residual to make sure chlorine's getting to the furthest parts of the line from the treatment plant, and that our treatment is being effective all the way to the furthest customers. It's been good to get out into the field today. Usually I'm in the classroom, so I had to rely on pictures in a PowerPoint presentation, whereas here out in the environment, I've been able to talk to the students about what's around here and compare it to what they know about near town. What we can do in our own water catchments, putting rubbish in the bin, making sure cars and boats and things aren't leaking oil into the river that you're near or using.
I guess it's something a lot of people take for granted, but there's a whole sort of network of both built assets and treatment that goes towards making something safe to drink. And I guess beyond that, what we do in our backyard, in our catchments, has a real impact on the quality of water that we then have to treat to provide to people. The major things that we are concerned with are pathogens, so things that can make people sick, so microorganisms, bacteria, protozoa and the like. Also we get contaminants in forms of chemicals like pesticides and herbicides, and potentially some metals as well, although we don't see too many in this catchment.
For the students now to have an opportunity of having 4 days of one-on-one scientist time and expert in their field, you just can't, we just don't have that opportunity. Even at university I never had that much time with experts. And his role has been from kind of the casual students just asking him questions like, oh, there's a bell in a tree, what does that come from? Or, what might live in this puddle? To him, finding potentially a new species in mountain shrimp.
And I started to find, as I climbed up a little bit up the scarp, some rocky pools. I thought, this looks like the sort of spot. And sure enough, one neck pool, I got one beautiful adult and half a dozen nice juveniles. We know that there are fossils of something very like this animal that go back to the early Eocene, best part of 50 million years ago.
Pack up today and head out back to the bus and back to Hobart. I'll be setting my pack up to be solo for the next couple of weeks, and I'll be heading north from here across some off-track country. I'm looking ahead at the Traveller Range towards the Duquesne Gap, and that's where the start of the watershed for the Derwent River starts. So I've really got 4 or 5 days to get to a point where the rain falls and drains into that Derwent system.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful day out here, and as long as you've got the right gear, there's no place I'd rather be.